After turning the custom keyboard world upside down, Qwertykeys is back with the QK60. Now, can it duplicate the quality and typing experience at a bargain price in the 60% space? Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, welcome to Clackbait. So the QK60 is a 60% gasket mounted custom keyboard that starts at a ridiculous price of $138 and goes up to $158 depending on the configuration that you choose. Now, shipping costs directly from Qwertykeys will be around 30 bucks, which is not bad at all. Now, I'm gonna cover a lot in this video, so try not to skip through so you don't miss a thing, and so this video has a chance to survive on YouTube, as well as my little channel. Now, enough talk. For those of you guys that have been here before, you know what time it is. Let's see how it sounds. Let's see how it feels. Let's start the build. So the QK60 sales format will be an unlimited sale starting October 7th and will run for about 2 weeks. This will not be like your typical group buy with a 6-month turnaround. Instead, shipping is estimated to start 8 to 10 weeks after the sale closes. So you should get this in your hands pretty quick. It will come in 3 different layout options: a Windows key, a Windows keyless, and a HHKB. Now, included in the kit, you're gonna get the QK carrying case, a QK60 case with top, bottom, and weight, all in the color and material of your choice. You can select from 3 different 1.2mm PCBs, all with these stepped flex cuts. Your options are hot swap wired, hot swap tri-mode with split backspace, and hot swap tri-mode with the backspace that people from planet Earth like to use. Now, the 2 tri-mode PCBs support per key RGB, but the wired version does not, so keep that in mind. Also, the PCBs are supported by Qwertykeys' new proprietary software, QK60. It's fairly similar to VIA. You can remap keys, create macros, change RGB settings, and more. But it is a new piece of software that you will need to download, so another thing to keep in mind. Now, plate options are going to be polycarbonate, palm, FR4, and what I have today is an aluminum plate that's color matched to the case of your keyboard. Now, the plate has these gasket leaf mounts. This is where you're gonna take the provided silicone socks and install it. It's super easy. I like it much better than the sticker gasket options that other keyboards have. You also get a daughter board and JST cable, a battery if you're getting one of the wireless PCB options, a 2.4 GHz adapter, more on this in just a bit. You're gonna get the foam pack that comes with a plate foam, case foam, and PE foam, silicone gasket socks, which are super easy to install. An interesting design element is that they added these silicone inserts with different designs that go with either a WKL or the HHKB layout only. These simply insert into the switch spaces that are in the blocker positions and light up from underneath with the per key RGB. It's a nice touch if you go with the acrylic top. It also comes with the rubber feet. You're gonna get a coil cable as a gift and a set of 60% owl stabs, which cover the board completely, unless you go with the split space bar. In that case, you're gonna need to get an additional stabilizer. Now, the color available will be as follows, and you can run any combo of these. If you go to the website, you can play around with these combos. There are 96 possible variations, so take your time and make a selection. There are 4 top cases, 2 are sandblasted acrylic and come in a smoky and a clear. The other 2 are aluminum and come in black or ice white. Now, there's gonna be 6 bottom case colors to choose from: an ice white, burgundy, black, pink, lavender, and mint, which is the one I have. Now, the 4 stainless steel weight options include ice white, black, gold, and chroma. So the case design looks really nice. They kept the sharp curves from the QK65, which I really like. The bottom case peeks out from the back when viewing it from the side and shows from the front, allowing you to bask in the glory of your bottom case color selection. The sandblasted finish on the acrylic top feels really nice and it looks pretty good. For me, I'd pick the acrylic over the aluminum top since it looks slick and you can use these plate inserts to give you a little bit of flair. It gives it a different look for sure. Oh, and it sounds slightly better to my ears. More on that in just a second. Now to keep the bottom clean, this time Qwertykeys went with the internal screw structure. This clean bottom look does come with a small compromise. When you want to get into the keyboard to do any modifications, you have to remove 8 keycaps and the space bar to get to the screws. Now one thing that did make me happy was that you don't have to remove the switches to get the screws out, something I've had to deal with in other boards, so that's a win. Now I really like the way the clear silicone gaskets blend into the clear top, and the plate color, which matches the bottom case, pops a bit. For the price, this is really nice. On the back, the top case hangs over the bottom, and there's a small cutout where the USB port is, which hides the USB connector from a top-down view. Now one thing I wasn't really feeling was the bottom weight. The E-White variant I have looks pretty bland and boring with zero branding. I think some design would have been nice to see, but at this price, I get it, I guess. Now the front height of the case is 18mm paired with a 7-degree typing angle. I found it really easy and very comfortable to type on. Now fully built, the board comes in at 2.97 pounds. Now the wireless experience for the QK60 is actually really good. They call it tri-mode because you can run it in wired, connect with Bluetooth, or use the provided 2.4 GHz adapter. I found the setup to be pretty easy, and you can switch between 3 different Bluetooth devices on the fly with the simple function, Q, W, or E to switch between your devices. Now if you don't have Bluetooth or your connection is not as reliable, the 2.4 GHz adapter works really well. I tested it out for a couple of days and had no issues to report. To switch to the adapter, simply press function and R and it should switch you over. You can also run it in wired mode by moving the switch that's found underneath the right shift key to the down position. This will restart the keyboard and turn off all the wireless functionality and run straight through your favorite USB-C cable. I think the wireless PCB is the way to go with this board, unless your long stabilizer game is weak and you want to go with the split spacebar. But hey, I'm not here to judge. They wanted this to be a portable solution with a smaller 60% size and wireless functionality, and I think they accomplished that. So gold star sticker for you, QK. That typing feel is also really good on the QK60. I'd say slightly better than the QK65 in fact. It has just a tad bit more flex, not enough to feel while typing, but enough to where the typing experience is soft. Unfortunately, the only plate I had was aluminum, but I think palm would really set this thing off. Now for sound, I have a bunch of different configurations for you, all running the SP Star Marble Soda Series Melon. I'll post a long version of these sound tests later, and also throw in a long pulse switch in a later video. But let me walk you through these configurations real quick. Now side note, I do these multiple builds to help you make a buying decision or to help you determine the direction you plan to build your board. If you find that it helped you do that, let me know by dropping a subscribe to the channel and hitting the like button while you're down there. Now if it didn't help you, also comment down below so homie can save some time and get more sleep. Yeah. So the first build is without any foam. I found the board sounded better than the QK65 without any foam, but it was still a bit thin for my liking, but nothing to scoff at. There isn't any noticeable hollowness to report either, which is pretty damn dope. Take a listen. Now next, I decided to test it with no foam, but this time with the aluminum top case to see if it made any difference in the sound. I found that it was fairly similar, but it added just a little bit of metallic ping. It's really slight, but worth mentioning. Another reason I would choose the acrylic top. Take a listen. Now let's take a trip down the foamy road. First, I just used the plate foam. I found the alpha sounded a bit more dampened, but livelier. Check it out. Next, I ran both plate and case foam. This definitely brought out that foamy sound signature and took some of the flex out of the board. I preferred it without the case foam, but you might like it. Roll the test. All right, so you know what time it is, PE foam. Next build is with all the foams. I will say, I'm not sure if they're using a slightly different PE material, but it's not as marbly as the Owlabs and the QK boards that I've tried before. Let me know if you feel the same. Roll the sound test. And lastly, I thought I'd throw up my favorite configuration after testing everything, plate foam and PE foam with no case foam. Removing the case foam added a bit more vibrancy to the sound and retained the flex. Here it is. Now I think if you're gonna go with the regular pole lengths on your switches, you should use the PE foam. Now if you plan to run the long daddy poles, you'll be just fine without it. So what do I think of the QK60? Overall, this is a banger, especially when you take the price into consideration. It's a great board. Qwertykeys is definitely a force in the entry custom space, and I'm excited to see what's next. That's my take. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.